ओम शांति। ओम शांति। सत्युग में जाने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं।
We're making preparations to go into Satyug, are we not?
उसके पहले शांति धाम में।
Before going to Satyug, we're going to the land of peace.
शांति धाम में जाने की तैयारी है।
And what are the preparations in order to go to the land of peace?
समेट के समा के न्यारा बनना।
To pack up, to accommodate and pack up all aspects, all things, and to remember Baba. To fill the self with Baba's power and Baba's virtues.
जो बाबा की भी भर जाए, वो शांति धाम में रहेंगे थोड़ा समय, परंतु शांति धाम कैसा है?
When we fill ourselves with the power of Baba, we'll be able to stay with Baba in Shanti Dham. Although we will stay there practically for a short time, but with the power we receive now from Baba, we're able to experience the land of peace here and now. Baba said today, this is the land of sorrow. We're going to the land of peace, and tomorrow the land of happiness is going to come. This is all you need to keep in your intellect. It's not just simply a question of knowledge, but a practical reality that we are living in the land of sorrow and we are going to the land of happiness. Actually, for myself, the land of sorrow exists no more. I am not a resident of the land of sorrow. That awareness and consciousness is finished. And this means that I'm not aware of giving or taking sorrow on any level. I've pushed aside the land of sorrow. I've left it behind. I'm going to the land of peace, and it is the wonder of the Father and the home. The Father has made me belong to Him, removed me from the shore of the land of sorrow, and made me His in the land of peace. Actually, the subtle regions are only here for a short period of time. We go via that to the land, to the incorporeal land, our home. We will stay in Mool Vatan, that land beyond, for a short period. Baba, he constantly stays up there. Shiv Baba stays up there all the time. And it's only at this time, at the confluence age, because of us, that he comes down. You've understood this clearly, have you not? He descends into the body of Brahma Baba. He comes down in front of his children to show us, look, child, here I am, your father, the one that lives in the land of peace. And here I'm a little bit worried, because I thought, well, we're not going to have a Gyan Sarovar in Satyug, are we? Do you think we are? Do you think we'll be able to enjoy meeting Baba in front? I'm sitting here facing you, you're sitting here facing me. Do you think we'll be able to have this gathering in Satyug? These experiences and moments of the confluence age are precious. Gyan Sarovar is not going to exist in Satyug. Even Pandav Bhavan is not going to be there in Satyug. Shantivan won't be there either. Right now, His dearly beloved children, Baba's made this for us. Who has made this? Who has created this? And so on my way here, just look around in the world. Is there such an elevated spiritual pilgrimage place, such as the ones we have here, Gyan Sarovar, Pandav Bhavan and Shantivan, will you find such elevated pilgrimage places anywhere else in the world, be it in Bharat or in the foreign lands?
उस स्थान पर हम आ रहे हैं, रहते हैं या खाते हैं.
We come to these pilgrimage places, we live here, we eat here. People out there go on a pilgrimage place, they just go there to see it and to just have a glimpse of it and just take a little prasad. Whereas here, we live here, we eat here. We won't have this opportunity to live together, to work together, to eat together. In the whole Kalpa, even in Satyug, we won't be together like this as one family as we are now. Of course, Bharat will be the only land. Baba has told us this history. All the history and geography is in the intellect. Our history and geography is so wonderful that it's all contained in our intellect. Baba has shown us everything, all the scenes, the history and geography, where we're going to be in Satyug, we won't have any palaces near the oceans, Bombay won't be there. Bombay won't exist. Will London exist? Will Australia exist? I don't think so. All of these have emerged later. Baba would sometimes say, London might have been created as a picnic place in Satyug. We might go there just to have a little picnic. And we might just meet. But maybe. God has a little affection for the land of the UK. So there won't be any mountains. Well, there may be mountains, but we won't have the need to go and build houses on mountains. I don't remember where I was coming from or where I was going. But there was an outsider had seen Madhuban, and he stopped me on my travels and said to me, when did you think of coming here to this place? You used to live in Karachi. Who had the thought, and why did you have the thought to come to Mount Abu? He's standing somewhere on my travels. He liked this place so much that he was asking me this question. And I said to him, okay, brother, sit down and I'll explain to you. And he agreed. The father says, child, there's no need to be afraid of anything. People were afraid during that time in Karachi and they were leaving because of that fear. And Baba would make us sit there to say, you are protected. And he inspired us to have so much tapasya, such tapasya that you Kumaris and mothers, your voice shouldn't leave these four walls. Nobody should know that there were ladies in this compound. Baba had the walls made very high of the houses in Karachi, so that nobody would know what was happening behind the walls. We didn't have any fear. Baba made us fearless during that time. And the community there had a lot of love and regard for us. They would send us vegetables and grains automatically. They would just have it delivered to our bungalows in horse. All of this would be filled in bullock carts and they'd come to us and they would look after us with a lot of love. And the police would deliberately stay outside to ensure that no trouble would come to us. Baba protects us so much so that we can become fearless. All because of service. At that time, what service was there? One was self-service, a great deal of attention on the self. Secondly, we would smile amongst ourselves and cooperate with each other and perform every task with our own bare hands. You've seen the picture, haven't you, of Nirmal Shanta Dadi cleaning big pots. She would get inside a big pot. We had no idea how she was going to clean it. She had never in her life even washed a glass of water or even a plate, and here she was getting inside a big pot and washing a big pot. To clean grains, wash clothes. We did all this with our hands, but not to come into any sound. What need is there to speak amongst each other anyway? We had no name or trace of any Lokik relatives either. No awareness. It was almost as if there was no awareness of any Lokik relationships. This practice of remaining beyond sound, such a deep practice. When someone says, well, what weakness do we have? Daddy says, well, at least practice this much. 2 minutes, sit down and practice this practice of going beyond. Don't be so direct with each other in your speech. Baba would say, child, do you want to say something? And Baba would say, child, first experience peace. When we'd go and sit in front of Mama, we'd sit there with a lot of peace, and then Mama would say, child, is there anything you want to say to me? And you would feel as if nothing could emerge from your mouth. All your issues or problems were resolved in that moment of silence. So today, somebody asked Daddy, how can I remain content? Baba says, remain content, but how can I be this? Now what kind of a question is this? In Karachi we had Baba and Mama, and we had no other awareness. Even when we'd sit in remembrance, it's only now that you're listening to very clear knowledge about the soul and the Supreme Soul. The history and geography, all of this came much, much later. In the days of Karachi, it was only the knowledge of the self, the soul. There was one soul that had only seen Mama. That soul hadn't heard much knowledge, but had seen Mama sitting in deep meditation. Mama had known this. Mama had known this soul in Lokik life. She had been a close friend of the family, and she'd picked up on Mama's stage and Mama's vibration. And this particular soul liked this practice very much of remaining quiet and silent. She would continue with her chores during the day in the kitchen till 11 o'clock at night, but not to come into sound. Whilst fulfill all responsibilities, but there's no need to come into sound. When we come into too much noise and sound, things become mixed. Things can get confused. There's no need to speak or go into too much expansion about anything, or speak too much about anything, or to speak loudly about anything. Doesn't matter if somebody's come from the outside. Even if you explain to that soul with a few signals and a few words, they'll understand what you're saying. But sometimes we shout or we speak very loudly at people. There's no need for that. People will understand. There is a way to do things. This time, I have this deep feeling inside of me that we should become what Baba wants us to become. And what is this? To go beyond sound and to come into sound only when necessary, to be very accurate in this practice. Baba also taught us this, that no one should ever need to ask us for anything. We should be able to fulfill all our responsibilities accurately as well. I was a nurse for 13 years, and no one should have to ask even for glucose. If they had fever, they shouldn't even have to say that I have fever. I understand. Baba had taught me this. Child, if they have fever, then give them either sprinkle their head and their forehead with cola water or rose water, cold rose water, and their temperature will lower. Massage their head a little, and it was true, their temperature would lower. We are God's children. Everything automatically becomes present in front of God's children. I'm deliberately telling you, sharing elements of history with you. Ramesh Bhai had written in the magazine that it's necessary to listen to the knowledge of the Gita, the father who relates the Gita, but it's also necessary to understand the activities, the divine activities of the Lord, because we understand how to live life. When we listen to Gyan, we understand, and it's on the basis of that understanding that we're able to develop our character. Painters and artists, they don't just, the ones who create the images of the deities, they don't just create it just like that. They remember the divine virtues and the divine activities, what the eyes will look like, what the face will look like, what the behavior, and then they will paint the picture. But they'll paint it in the awareness of the divine characters. And what about angels? Those who paint angels, what do angels look like? And this is why their hands and their legs and their feet, their eyes, their movement is very subtle. They have sense organs, but it's as if they don't come into sound with them. You feel that souls like this are like angels. Who are the parents of the angel? God Himself. Yes, for name's sake, they have a name, but the name is of the body. When in London we first purchased the first St. Gabriel's Road, there's a church just on the corner, and it's 11 St. Gabriel's Road, Baba's beautiful house. There was such a beautiful atmosphere. Baba's house was created, and everything changed. The surroundings, the neighbors, the entire street, the atmosphere completely changed. Our words are precious, and our words are powerful, just as Brahma Baba's words brought into our life truth and understanding. God's words are truth. There is power in those words. But then what do? We get lost in our own little confusions and lose sight of these words. Even now I'm looking at everyone's faces and not seeing the enthusiasm on your faces that has recognized. When you recognize the greatness, your face begins to move, your eyes begin to shine, and automatically there's a change inside. An internal shift begins to place. The consciousness becomes lighter and freer. when the soul recognizes whose words these are, and God speaks to the soul and says, child, 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 this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do. So recognize God Himself, the resident of the land of Paramdham, is come down at the confluence sages and says, child, this is the subtle regions, this is what happens in the subtle regions. Satyug will come later. We'll have 900,000 at the beginning of Satyug and then 33 million at the end of the Silver Age. But right now, you are my children here at the confluence age. And you are angels. Your feet aren't on this earth, so that not even a speck of dust or dirt can touch you. You are clean and you are truthful and honest. This is what an angel is. What words can an angel speak anyway? I was coming here today, and as the moment I stepped foot in Gyan Sarovar, you must have experienced this too, that it feels like a land of angels. In Abu Road, we didn't used to have Shantivan before there. And now if you go through Abu Road and don't stop in Shantivan, it's like you've missed something. Or if you come up here to Gyan Sarovar and you don't go to Pandit Bhavan, or you go to Pandit Bhavan and don't go to Gyan Sarovar, it's feel like you missed something. Each one of these three places has developed a great significance and importance, because we live at these places, we serve here, we study here, and then we go out into the world and create similar pilgrimage places. And Baba had said, let every service place be like a pilgrimage place. Nirmala Ben, Dr. Nirmala Ben, yes, we have all small places in Australia, but let each center become a pilgrimage place. Let the servers at those places be such that they bring honor to the place they're serving at. They create a powerful atmosphere, an environment at those service places. In fact, you don't need to do anything else to create a powerful atmosphere, but switch on the red light in the morning for Amrit Vela. Have Amrit Vela. In the early days of Abu, Baba would make us have yoga at 2 a.m. in the morning. He'd switch the light on. Baba would have tapasya in red light with the children at 2 a.m. in the morning. Even in Pune, we had this experience at 4 o'clock in the morning. And opposite us, there was a woman, a sister living, and she wasn't allowed to come to us, but when she would see our red light, she would wake up and sit for Amrit Vela as well. When she left her body, how she left it, where she finished Amrit Vela, she saw everyone come out of class, and then she left her body. And it's after that her relatives and in-laws regretted that they didn't let her come and take knowledge. And Baba has said, let there be a pilgrimage place in every street. So be such a server, a sevadhari. Don't take ownership of anything, that this is my bed, this is my room, this is my place, but this is a pilgrimage place. This is what we are learning from Madhuban. And this is why I don't use the word training academy or whatever. These are long, complicated words. When people come here, what do they study? They study matters that touch the heart. And they're left, when their heart is touched, they become speechless. You know, in Srinath Dware, when they prepare bhog, they tape their mouths, they put something to cover their mouths when they prepare bhog. Why am I telling you this today? The one who practices remaining beyond sound, such a one will know what the experience of the land of peace is like. And we'll be able to bring that experience down here. Baba has become avyakt so that we're able to experience the subtle regions as well. And he says, child, stay with me in the subtle regions. This is what Bab Dada says. The one who was Sakar Baba became avyakt, and the one who was incorporeal, Nirakar, came down into the avyakt costume. And there's Bab Dada beckoning the child into the subtle regions. There is the picture of the Trimurti. Vishnu is standing in the middle, and Brahma seated on one side, and Shankar on the other. Through Brahma, he is teaching us. And what am I teaching you? I'm teaching you to have tapasya like Shankar. You're going to the land of Vishnu. This was what this morning's Murali was about, wasn't it? Did you churn on it? Shiv Baba is up there. Vishnu is the one in the middle. Shiv Baba is in Param Dham. Vishnu is standing in front of me, and I know that's where I have to go, and so whatever Baba is teaching me, I listen. He's saying to me, don't come into sound, remain in tapasya like Shankar. And so, these are the kind of practices and rehearsals that Baba inspired in us in the days of Karachi. Just as Baba would explain to us, child, do this, do this, do this. He spoke very few words, but he used to tell us what we need to hold in our intellect, what awareness we need to keep in our intellect. The gyan, the knowledge of the full stop, and question mark is now. But in our days, we had no question. So if you had no questions, no need to put a full stop. We had no questions in those days. Baba himself is explaining to us directly. What questions are you going to ask? We didn't even have the sense to ask questions. Or why is that one doing that? Why is that one doing... We never even think like that. Now, don't use this kind of sense too much. Don't use this kind of intellect too much. Why is this one like this? Why is that one like this? This kind of questioning intellect makes you senseless. Baba is the one that accepts everything as it is. And just as Baba is this way, so too am I. Actually, all you need to now do is pay attention. Not pay attention to making effort, but paying attention to remaining honest and clean in effort. No need to talk too much. Just in one thought, just in one word, share your thought. No need to go into too much expansion. And have the faith that whatever is going to happen will happen for the best. So that even people from the outside recognize our life of simplicity, and they see us as individuals who are moving on this journey of life with great simplicity, ease and peace and love. This is a pilgrimage, and on the pilgrimage, pilgrims have a lot of love for each other. Students don't have that much love, and businessmen don't have that much love, or government civil services, but the pilgrims, the connection, the special connection and love and unity they have amongst each other as they move forward on this journey. And we are all pilgrims together. We just have one aim. We have to go home with Baba. I have to go home with Baba. Where is home? And Baba says, even I'll show you the way home. You just stay seated. Come to the subtle regions and then I'll show you up above to your home. And this is how Baba's words would take us beyond. The days of meeting our sweet Baba are now coming close. And so whatever it is that you've missed, rehearse these aspects very well for yourself and you'll be able to play your part very well. Today, if you are a Brahmin, you are an elevated Brahmin. Maintain this awareness of your elevated form in the present. And whilst performing service, whilst doing service, remain in the awareness and form of being an angel, of being beyond words, being beyond sound, and simply signaling, moving with signals. Baba had once said in the Murli, don't write too many long letters to this Dadi, just write 5 lines. But even still now, I get these long letters, 5 pages, 8 pages. Now what else do such people do? If they think so much, they're going to write that much. If they think that much, their pen will continue to write that much. Just remain peaceful. Keep your mind peaceful. The teachings that Baba gives us helps to keep us our mind on track. It's very good I don't speak English, but I read English. And at least I'm able to read and reply back so that that soul is able to receive some peace of mind. And here, Baba doesn't even have to go to the extent of reading the letter. The moment that soul has written it, Baba knows. I can't say this. Baba can say it, but I can't say it. I can't say I've just read it. I have to read it. And then to respond to it. And my practice is to give, and my practice to be an instrument so Baba can give a reply, not just in minutes, but in seconds. Baba will give me an answer, so let me take that kind of answer from Baba for myself. And what does the answer say? The answer says, time is short. Develop the common sense to remain peaceful. Don't speak too much, don't think too much. Baba inspires us to do so much service, service through the mind, service through the body, service through time, service through our energy, our wealth. Each one, it's up to each one. Whatever pure feelings and good wishes you have, definitely carry it out. Whatever your intentions are, carry them out. Each individual have different intentions and different pure feelings to serve. So do what you need to do. No need to come into too much sound about anything. Nobody's going to say anything to you. There are many relationships where a husband and wife or a father and son, where they have different intentions, different motivations, but they're not going to ask each other. They'll do what they have to do. There are some husbands that don't ask their wife what they need to do. They do what they have to do in service. They continue to serve. Same in father and son. Each one does what they need to do. And the father, let's say the father and the son, the father doesn't say, but the father invests his energy in service and has this deep attention to claiming his inheritance. Those who remain in remembrance don't speak a lot. They continue to work with their own inner intentions, with their pure feelings in service, with a lot of peace, with a lot of love. They don't stop anywhere and they don't allow anybody else to stop them. This is the aim I need to keep. I'm going home, I have to go home and I have to get there. I don't need to turn around and look at anyone else, how fast or slow they're moving. I can't hold anyone's hand. Each one has to hold Baba's hand. I have to get to my destination myself. If I attempt to hold on to anybody's hands, I might get dragged back. And so I have to keep my hand in Baba's hand. My hand is in Baba's hand, and Baba is my companion, and that's all I need to keep with me. Continue to walk and move on this journey, on this pilgrimage, with a lot of cleanliness and honesty in this way. Such pilgrims who move with this much honesty and cleanliness have a lot of love for each other. And there is a lot of pure love there. Not physical love, but pure love. Okay, I've taken a little bit of extra time. But if you make effort like this, so that you're able to sing Baba's praises and Baba's able to sing your praises, and Baba says, child, the time has come, you've understood, congratulations.